Why is there no gender equality in Pakistan? Pakistan ranks among the lowest in the world for gender equality, not because women are weak or less capable, but because deep-rooted cultural, religious, legal, and economic barriers have deliberately kept them from equal status. Short answer: Pakistan lacks gender equality due to patriarchal culture, misinterpretation of religion, weak legal protection, low female education and economic participation, political and institutional failure, gender-based violence, and silence. Let's break this down with real-world examples and impact. Detailed explanation with key points. 1. Deep-rooted patriarchal culture. From birth, boys are treated as assets and girls as burdens. Examples: Beta chahiye, I want a son, mindset still dominates households. Girls are often denied inheritance rights, higher education, or job opportunities. Women are expected to marry early and focus on domestic life, not careers. Impact: millions of women are groomed for obedience, not independence. 2. Misuse and misinterpretation of religion. Islam gave women rights 1400 years ago. But in Pakistan, culture often overrides religion, and religious texts are selectively interpreted. Examples: hijab is enforced, but Islamic inheritance laws, which favor women, are often ignored. Women's testimony is considered half in some legal cases, not a Quranic principle but a cultural distortion. Opposition to women's education in rural areas is falsely justified using religion. Impact: religion becomes a tool to control women rather than uplift them. 3. Weak laws and even weaker implementation. Even when good laws exist, they are poorly enforced due to corrupt police, male-dominated courts, and fear of backlash. Examples: the Women Protection Bill, 2006, and anti-harassment laws, 2010, exist but are rarely implemented. Rape conviction rate is less than 2%. Victims often face more scrutiny than the accused. Domestic violence laws are rejected or delayed in provinces like Punjab due to opposition from religious groups. Impact: women don't feel protected by the state, so they remain silent or suffer. 4. Lack of equal access to education. Millions of girls are kept out of school, especially in rural and tribal areas. Examples: in KP and Balochistan, female literacy is under 30%. Schools lack basic facilities for girls: toilets, boundary walls. Malala Yousafzai was shot for advocating girls' education in Swat. Impact: uneducated women are less likely to earn, speak up, or break the cycle. 5. Minimal economic participation. Women make up almost 49% of the population, but only 22% of the workforce. Examples: working women face harassment, unequal pay, lack of maternity support. Most are forced into informal work, home-based, unpaid labor with no protection. Banks, real estate, and industry are dominated by men. Women rarely hold decision-making roles. 6. Gender-based violence and honor. Culture. Pakistan sees thousands of cases of domestic abuse, rape, forced marriage, and honor killings each year. Examples: Kandil Balak, a social media personality, was murdered by her own brother for dishonoring the family. Mukhtaran Mai, gang-raped on tribal orders, had to fight for years for justice. Many rapes go unreported due to victim blaming, police harassment, and social stigma. Impact: fear of violence stops women from going to school, work, or speaking freely. Limited political representation. Women are underrepresented in power, both in politics and policymaking. Examples: less than 5% of directly elected seats in national and provincial assemblies go to women. Women MNAs are often appointed through reserved quotas, not direct votes, which limits their influence. Issues like child care, reproductive health, or gender violence rarely become legislative priorities. Impact: without women at the table, their issues remain ignored or sidelined. 8. Cultural shame and social silencing. Women who speak up are labeled as immoral, westernized, or anti-Islam. Examples: Aurat March, Women's March, faces extreme backlash, threats, and misinformation campaigns. Slogans like Mera Jism, Mary Marzi, My Body, My Choice, are misrepresented as vulgar when they're about bodily autonomy. Women journalists, activists, and lawyers face abuse, doxing, and threats. Impact: social pressure silences even educated and urban women. Summary table issue. Example: result, patriarchy, son, preference, early marriage, women seen as second-class, misused religion, inheritance denied, mobility restricted, cultural bias masked as religion, weak laws, rape acquittals, delayed justice, women fear legal systems. No education, rural girl, illiteracy, attacks on schools, no empowerment, no income, informal labor, wage gap, financial dependence, violence, honor, killings, acid attacks, lives controlled by fear, poor representation, few women MPs, gender issues ignored, cultural silencing attacks on Aurat March, public voices suppressed. Final thought: Pakistan does not lack talented, strong, or visionary women. It lacks justice for the abused, access for the ambitious, and respect for half its population. Until society, from religious leaders to media, politicians to parents, stops seeing women as inferior, gender equality will remain a slogan, not a reality.